Thanks for joining. Hi, this is Maithili. So I'm a SharePoint solution architect. I'm working in DC for some international organization, working for Cognizant. So here, we are going to discuss about Azure chatbot. So you might be like hearing what is answer bot and Q&A maker, knowledge base, and how that is getting integrated with international organizations, like how that helps organization to get the whatever the questions they wanted, the frequently asked questions, whatever the things, right? So easily, if anybody, any employees of the organization can get the informations from the organization, knowledge repository, so knowledge management stuff, whatever into it. So here, the first step is I'm going to describe about what is Azure Bot Service, then what is Q&A Maker, how the LUIS can be integrated with the Bot Service. So what is the best design principle to develop a bot? So before developing into a bot, we should consider why we need a bot, and so what are all the different guidelines we need to think about, standards we have to think about before building it. We should not be building it just like a whole complete bot for solve everything. And next one is how bot is Microsoft Teams came up with the bot concept and what are all the bot supportivity it has. And finally, we are going to see the conversational and group chatbot, how group chatbot, and the demo I'm going to concentrate on conversational chatbot, how we can build the bot in it. And if I'm too fast, you just let me know. If you have any clarifications questions or something, I'll take it up in the last. Okay, so the first one, what is Azure Bot Service? Generally, you all know what bot service is, everything, but this is like a conversational experience. So generally, if a customer, somebody joins onboarding it, right, they have to go through some process to know the details, how they can get their ID, Outlook, workstation, and everything. It's like a process. There will be some operational team, they will help them. So whatever they need, they have to connect the people. They will do the process and everything in the back end, and the new employee will get those assistants. But this bot services, right? For example, the current industry, there are multiple scenarios. So one is onboarding, employee onboarding. That's one scenario. Other cases you have some digital workspace. You wanted to get some teams or internet site or any groups or YAML to be created for your department or your unit. So the general process, you will be having some form, you will request that form, you will submit the form, then it goes to some governance team who will review your request, then they will approve, then the specific services will be provided. This was like a long process. So you have to follow step one steps to everything. So this process, right? I'm just going to take this scenario business case, how we can build this with our answer bot, our bot services team bot. The next scenario is if you wanted to know about HR policies, so or any informations about your salary or whatever the questions, you medical benefits or insurance or everything. So there is FAQ bots, like our answer bot Q&A maker. You can set up a Q&A maker with the standard questions and answers. So you can enable your bot on top of that knowledge base using the bot services. So you see, any employee can type and get the answers. It's not necessarily like if you have 9 to 5 operational hours, only those times somebody will be available to help you. So if you build this knowledge management knowledge system, anybody can at 24/7 can get those answers readily, through the bot services. So it's like a conversational experience for your customers. The key strength is first one, you see you can add your natural language to your bot. It's not like a static question and answer. You can add your natural language to your bot so whatever the language you type, that LUIS, we are going to see the next one, LUIS app language understanding services, whatever Microsoft has, Azure has given up, right? It will understand what you are asking for and it will translate to it will translate, it will get the intent of the author, and based on that the query will be a question will be passed to a backend system, knowledge knowledge based system, and it will get you the answer. So it's very simple to start, and you can the bot system can grow whatever the business you wanted, like you can build for that. So it's reaching your customers whenever they want it, right? So it's like a virtual assistant. Main thing is like this bot can be done in the two way. One, we can go ahead with Microsoft virtual assistant. They are giving as a service. You can use it. The second one, you can build it from the scratch with your like branding and everything. You can build it. We have a API and services, everything been built up. So we can leverage those, and we can build the service based on our branding. So data is our own data and everything. So this bots can be like bot skill can be like enriched because like we are going to leverage all Azure backend cognitive services. So all those things we can extend it. And you will have like a seamless transition conversation. So that's what we meant like. So and more Azure like a bot services supporting so many channels. So Teams also one of the channel. It can be a Facebook, Slack. You can use it for any channels. Okay, so this is what like the user can input through the text, speech, and images. So you can like as we have like Azure Cognitive Service been inbuilt, the speech also like user input can be a text, speech also it recognize, and you can upload the images as well. So all these three are like Azure Cognitive Services, which been like inbuilt with our BART services, Azure BART framework. So channels can be anything, Skype or Facebook, or our own custom web chat, or it can be a Teams anything. So as soon as like the bot intelligent, this one like you will have a Q&A maker service, which is the core one. So where the Q&A maker service will be integrated with your KB. KB will have a set of question and answers and all the metadata. The Q&A maker service will be connecting our bot. It's a API, like for example, like you consider this as an API where you can get your question answer. So next one is like we have a speech services, language understanding services. You can add translators. So all those intelligence we can add on top of our bot. And we have predefined intelligence been built already. If you want, you can integrate Louis and etc. The next one is like it can be built for any custom business process. The next one is like we are going to see what is Q&A maker. The Q&A maker is like it's like cloud-based NLP natural language processing system. So it supports the conversational. It's a conversational application and communicates to user and gets their question and answer. So like the next question, like when I can use the Q&A maker services. Q&A maker service if you have any static information, for example, like the earlier I meant, right? If you have like a FAQ based, you have set of questions and answers. So that's standard, right? You can make a question and answer. The static informations you are going to give to the employees. So you can at that time you can use it. And the next one, this same answer, like when you want to provide the same answer to a request, like whenever people ask like when can I get my claims? So when can I get claims like that? If you have a, like a standard questions, so you can use that. And the static informations, for example, like if you're looking for e-service, your e-service, you want to raise some, you want to block it, you want to book a your desktop being broken or something, you want to get a like a desktop from the e-service request like that. So some kind of desktop, some metadata information, if you have defined metadata, right? So medical insurance or something, the defined metadata if you have, that time the information will be like filtered based on the static metadata. So mainly it's like our Q&A maker will be like a static question and answers kind of thing. So what is like a KB and Q&A maker? KB is nothing but Q&A maker is a service, and KB is nothing but the knowledge base where we will be like storing all our informations. Like you can publish all the informations. So that Q&A maker service will give the results in the JSON format, and it's like imports. A Q&A maker can import from data from the any set of, like it can be a document or it can be Excel sheet, or you can put some sport like static portal also. It can be a static portal content also. So Q&A maker can import the content from content to the knowledge base from any question and answer pair. Only thing we should be having the question and answer pair in it. So this is we are having a chat bot. Whenever it sends a question and the answer will be in the JSON format, the picture shows like, so Q&A maker service will pass this question and this framework is there, like it'll go and extract the query and the results will be there in the JSON format. Like the Q&A maker can be integrated with any of your applications. So you can pass the request from your custom application to Q&A maker service. Q&A maker service returns the result in the JSON format. You can paint it the way you wanted in the UI. The next important service like bot has is like language understanding one. So language understanding, like, as we said, like this is a service, Microsoft service where we can use it. So if you pass like questions, right? Sorry. Sorry. So if you like pass the questions into it, so what it will take, the UI is what it will take. For example, you're asking as a book me a flight. So the query will be a book me a flight. So it takes the query and it takes like the keywords in it, right? The book flight and the place name or something. It will have a score, you know, like Azure service is having the scoring profiles, right? So it will get a score. What the intent of the question. So based on that, the scoring will be there. You can process, you can return the result. You can write a custom logic to return the results based on the scores. So this is how like Louis will work. It's straightforward, like you can pass the query, book me a flight to Cardio, and you can extract the result, but that will be like a one-to-one kind of thing. Exact question, and you will get the exact answer. So you will not have a combination of answers in it. If you integrate Louis into it, so Louis will parse your question and it will give you your intent. Based on the scores, you can return the results and results to the users. The next one, like why Louis? Louis, like that's what, like if you don't have Louis service, it'll be like just a Q&A kind of thing. If you have a Louis being integrated, you will get set of answers into it. So that's what, like you can add a natural language to your apps quickly, like we can build any language solution to it. And main thing is like Louis will be learning from the actively, it will be learning from the user. For example, you deploy this bot services to e-services, help desk kind of help desk system. So what will ask, like based on the questions asked by the combination of users, right? It will like it will automatically add the scores. For example, like everybody is asking like my internet is not working. Some specific question, if they keep asking it, so it will add the score into it. So it knows like so many people are like you asking the same question. Automatically the score for the questions will be like increased. And always like based on the set of question being asked from the all users, right? So always it learns like what they intend to ask. So this is the main advantage, like the machine language algorithm, whatever built in the backend, right? So actively it's like actively it will learn and keep improve the results and it scores as well. And always it's been learning and improving. That's the main advantage, like why we have to use Louis into our BART service. Not only the bot services, any cognitive Azure cognitive search or chatbot, for any of the service you can integrate Louis for that purpose. So there's a scenario which we like just to explain about the Louis, how the Louis is helping it here. For example, like from your mobile or something, you're asking some questions. Automatically, you connected to your enterprise Active Directory. So your Azure bot service has been built. So your query will be passed to a bot services. So bot services, it will take it will like connected to your Louis system, language understanding system, which is internally connected to the Q&A maker. So as soon as the user enters some question like query, the Louis and the Q&A maker will take the question and will go and search your Azure. It has Azure cognitive search. It goes and searches the like knowledge base or search any database or any file, whatever your knowledge base been built for. It goes and search over there and gets the exact result and give back to the user. So the Louis purpose is like to whatever the question been passed to Louis, it will take a list of phrases and it will go to a Q&A maker. Then it will get the results from the KB system, knowledge base system. Okay, so next one is like, yeah, we just saw like two services, Q&A maker. Q&A maker is a service which is like it will be which is exposed to connect our KB onto the client applications, whatever it is, a service been built. And so we know Q&A maker service is available. We have a KB system been built, and both web services and APIs are ready. So we have to build a bot now. So like why we need to build a bot? There are like so many bots are also available. Already Microsoft is giving Power Virtual Agent, so we can directly use that. Why we have to custom build it? What is the business purpose? So we should not be like blindly jumping into a bot. For example, I want to build a FAQ system for my customer. So organization may have so many FAQs. For example, like travel based system, HR based system, so ticket booking, you'll be having reservations, so many like business scenarios will be involved. So what you need to do before jumping into building a bot system for the organization, like understand the requirement for which case they wanted to build it. So build for like subset of, for example, like you have 4 or 5 business cases, right? Take one business case and build a bot for that. Don't build a bot to support all the business functionalities. For example, here, like for example, HR queries, or get travel. Second one, another one is like a help desk system. Third one, some like a digital workspace governance. So you'll be having like a multiple business scenario. So take one scenario, understand it, how it works, then like narrow down the requirement. For example, like if you want to create, if you're placing some request, right, to create a Teams or a videos or streams like that. So just understand like what will be the users combination of thing. Try to give that as options to them. For example, I want to raise a request. Next, you ask them what do you want to do. Like you want to create a channel, or you want to create an internet site, or you want to create a Teams. So you can give them the options. So think that like, so don't try to make like bot like too smart, because it will not like understand everything, right? So it will fail to understand the user intent. The next one is, it's not like it won't be like a cute, right? It won't be like a cute like. So for example, like when human interacts, if you are calling help desk or something, you will get like they'll respond you, they'll ask you some, they can pass some jokes also. It'll be like, but a bot cannot be built like a human interaction way. So it has to be like plain and pretty simple. The next one, the language one, even though BART supports voice and natural language recognition, but still it didn't mature that much. So like basic, you can start with the text-based input and you can proceed for, you can later on you can improve it based on your business understanding something. Then so keep it simple. And as like BART service supports so many channels, yeah, Teams, web, or whatever the channels you wanted to support, while supporting the, like while registering the BART one, you can select the multiple channels. So like do like as much as possible. So easily the BART functionality can be used across all the channels. So that's what, like next one is like a narrow down to the problem. That's what I said, like narrow down the BART requirement. For example, if they ask for anything, ask them you want to book a air ticket, book a hotel, or book a car, like that. So if you are giving the options to them, so they'll be like narrowed down. For example, they want to book a ticket, they'll go to that option, they'll select one. Then you'll be narrowing down the requirement. You are not like fishing across the ocean. You know where you have to, so you can channelize the informations. So that will be like a best thing to do it. So that's what, break down your complex problems into simpler steps, and then and introduce like as much as dialogues as possible, so user will be like narrow down what they wanted, and it will be easy for us to get the results from our KB knowledge based system. So whenever in the other thing is like, when you are like developing the BART, right? If people are like asking the question in between the thread, ongoing thread, so better to give it options like just ask them like you want to create. Don't confuse, like BART will get confused, right? So don't confuse it. Ask them like, do you want to start a new conversation, or you want to replace it with the current one, or you want to merge this one. So BART, it should be like keep it simple, narrow down the problem, don't be like annoying. So this is the best practices before building our BART, and which defines our good BART. Okay, the next one. So BART, like it supports like so many channels we talked about. Now we are getting into like Teams. We are going to see how like BART supports our Microsoft Teams. Another question you may ask, right? Already BART is having a conversation. Well, like Teams are having a conversations. So why we need to build a BART? So Teams conversation similar like other messaging applications, right? So you can connect with somebody, you can ask any questions, but it is not like querying on some common knowledge based system. So this main intention is like to get the informations from the knowledge repository you are building a bot for Teams. So the Teams, there are like a three ways. Teams, you can have a one-to-one personal conversation, which is even the team conversation supports. And other one is a group chat. Group chat, you can define a group. You can chat between the groups. You can, for example, project A, project B, like that. Then the channels. Channels like team supports channel, for example, if you are chatting in the channel, the people across the channel can access those. So we can see that in detail, like what is like bots in one-to-one personal chat, what is the group chat, and how the chat supports in the channel. And in our demo, we are going to see like conversational chat, one-to-one conversational chat. We are going to demonstrate that. We are going to see in detail. So one-to-one chats, like when you are chatting with a one person, it's here. Here it is a virtual assistant. Or if it is a person, you can see how to use like at mention at the person name or something. You can start the thread. So it's a traditional use case for bots, and you can define a workflow, and you can present the best functionality. It's like you can do a wizard approach also for this bot. And the next one is a team, as you said, like a threaded conversation with multiple peoples, but like it reaches like a massive set of peoples, right? And you will be having the access to all the messages between the group. And if you want to specifically talk to a person, you have to use at mentioned. And Teams channel one is other advantages, like we can leverage all Microsoft Graph and other functionalities also. For example, like we can use the notifications, and we can use a poll. We can build a poll one. So we can leverage the Microsoft Graph API one. Next is like set of like group of people. The third option is like group chat, which is like you'll thread conversation between this more than two or three people, more three people. And so it can have like a fewer member. Similar channel will be having like a super set of people, right? Channel access will define that, but this is like a few members where you want to discuss something, so the group chat plays a role. Similar like other two, like you have to use at mentioned so that the specific person will get the notification and you can start continuing it. The scenarios, like whatever the team channel supports, even the group chats also supports those, all the business scenarios you can achieve here as well. Okay, so this is how BART works. So BART conversation mainly like three steps. One is like you should have a web service. For example, like our Q&A service available across the organization or something. If you're building for the organization, it should be available. The web service should be available. Then the next, that web service should be like registered with the BART framework. And the third step is like Teams app should identify the bot, right? So we have to add the manifesting file into a Teams. So Teams will not talk to the Q&A maker directly. So Teams always it will go through the BART framework. BART framework will connect the Q&A maker service. So next one is like how bots in Teams are unique, because like bots been built in many web team, so many like we have you can use a Power Virtual Agent, so many things. So why are bots like Teams is unique? So bots is like Teams mainly like the bot supports like multiple channels. So multiple channels, and even it supports like other different platforms also. For example, like Teams now supports Skypes and so many things, right? So even the bot supports those Skypes and everything. Third important point is like activities in the web is very different from the team activities. So the team related conversations and activities being handled in this BART framework. So the team activity handler mainly drives the BART framework. So this BART framework will it will decide whether it is like a team related conversation or non-team related conversation based on the team's activity handler here. So that's like a different set of services being added in the BART to support the Microsoft Teams. And the next one, like we are like getting into a BART development. So now we saw like Q&A maker. Probably you would have got a little idea what is Q&A maker. And Q&A maker is a service which supports like a KB. And Louis, what is Louis? Louis, okay, we are adding Louis. Because of like the questions, it can be interpreted and it will know the intent of the user, and it can get the multiple set of answers. It's not like a straightforward Q&A. And the third one we saw like BART Teams like Teams, what are the bot supports one-to-one, group chat, and the channel chat. 3 set of bots are supported in Teams. The next one, like how I can build a bot. So I have all three now. I have a bot framework, I have a QNMX service, and I have a Teams also. Like how to start my bot development. So the first thing was like, first, as we 3 steps we saw, right? First one is like we should have a web service. Second one, the bot framework should be registered with the web service. Third, team should connect the web service bot framework. This is the 3 steps we have to say. So first is like we have to do a custom web service. So custom web service, the web service here we meant it can query anything. Right? It can be your Q&A maker service or any database. So you can define your backend system. So you can build a web service based on your the data. Next, second step, you are going to register this with the bot framework, which we are going to see in the demo as well. The third one, we Microsoft Teams, right? So you should have like a Team Studio, App Studio, and Microsoft Teams app should have the package been deployed. Similar like a SharePoint and other platform, you have to deploy the package, so it knows like bot ID, which service it has to interact and everything. Third step, that's nothing but uploading the app package to a Microsoft Teams. Then you can add that your custom bot as like an app into your Teams. Okay. So yeah, this is like on the web service. You can create a web service is the main heart for your bot. It supports HTTPS. So we can see that in. So how to define a bot service? And registering the web service with the bot. So this one, like you need to mention which web services you are going to. Probably this in the demo it will be easy. Like so in this you can provide the URL web service or URL. Once you have to build and host the web services in Azure, then you have to grab the web services and you have to give the URL to your bot framework. And the third one, like you will be uploading those into apps using the App Studio. So for that, like the App Studio, you need to make some manifest changes, the bot ID, and you have to say like which scope. It's like a scope is a personal or we saw right the scope personal or group or channel, which we need to mention in the manifest file before uploading the package. Like in the recap, so conversation we are going to see the one-to-one conversation part. So personal one, like we have like 3 sets, right? Teams and group chat and personal one. So we are going to see the one-to-one chat and activities. All the activities in the will have like a message type property. So activities like based on the message type, whatever you are passing, the activity will be like understood by your bot framework. If you want to receive a message, activity.text, and you can give the proper text. And to send the message, you have to use a send activity method in the code. So this is a demo which we are going to see. So before starting the demo, like to develop the bot for Teams. So this is the prerequisite is we should have like a Node.js version 10 and above, and your NPM version should be like V6, and yeah, Gulp and Yeoman should be like supported, and you have to install the Yeoman generator for Microsoft Teams. Of course, like you should have a Visual Studio to do it. So the first step, we are going to register a bot with Azure Bot Framework. Then we are going to see how we are adding that bot into our Teams and etc. So let me take to the site with the steps, so that will be easy. So first we are going to create a Microsoft. Let me highlight the steps. First one, we are going to create a Azure bot. Yeah. The first step will be like we will be creating a Microsoft Azure bot. The second, we need to provide all the like templates and everything. We will be completing that bot provisioning. Third step is like we will be enabling that bot for Teams channel. As we said, like Teams supports multiple channels, right? We have to enable that for a Teams channel. Then we will be creating a Microsoft Teams app. This step we will be updating the bot code, which we are going to see it. Then we will be creating a Teams app using our Yeoman generator and Visual Studio. Then we have to update the project and project variable. Then the manifest, you can test and run it. Finally, you have to upload the register the bot updating the messaging API, then we have to upload the manifest files into our Teams. Then the app will be available for your Teams. So let's go back one by one. I'll open the portal and I'll explain you. So log into a portal.azure.com. So before creating the BART service, you should have a resource group been created. So you can register the portal at Azure with your free account, which is like a $200 benefit. You will get it 30 days and you can use it for 30 days. So first one, create the resource group. I'm assuming that you have a resource group been created. If not an issue, directly you can go for a BART channel registration. This is the first step we have to do. So click on the BART channel registration. This is our step 2. We have to complete all the record informations to create and provision a BART. So you are provisioning a BART now. So give a BART name. Subscription plan, whatever you have, and the resource group. If you don't have any resource group been created, you can create a new resource group here as well. So there are two ways. One, you can create the resource group for all your services and they can reuse it. Otherwise, on the fly, you can create it using here. So I have a resource group been created. I'm using that resource. Yeah. So rest everything you can select the location. You can keep app insights, whatever the transaction happening, your app insights to capture all those logs and everything. You can select it. If you want specific app ID and password, you can go ahead and create it. I'm going to leave it to the auto generated one, whatever. But Azure itself will create app ID and password. I'll be reusing it. Yeah. So the next step is you can go ahead and create the BART. So you are registering the BART. It will take a few seconds. Deployment is happening now. So we are done with this. So either you can create a resource and then you can use the BART one, or directly you can get into a BART channel registration and you can step into the step 2. You can give everything whatever you wanted here. So I just kept a default one except the name and resource groups, right? Rest everything I'm using it as is for the demo. So when this is done, we'll be enabling the Teams channel. It's in the same resource group, so this is the new thing I registered. Test BART demo 1.2. So register the channels. Default that web app chat will be there. You can click on the channels and you can enable it for Teams. You select already the web chat is running. You can select the Teams. So your BART framework will be connecting the Teams channel. You can save this. So as soon as you saved, you can see the web chat and the Teams it will be running. Ensure that both are running here. Web chat as well as the Teams both are running. So your a BART channel will be exposed to your Teams now. So Teams can connect the BART framework. This is how you are integrating your BART and Teams. That's our step 3. And then we are going to create the team app, which is going to consume the BART framework whatever we built. So this is already I have created, but let me create some folder for it. So to create a Teams project, you should be having that Yeoman for Teams been installed. This is the command, like you have to use YO Teams. If you don't have, like you can install the Yeoman generator for Microsoft Teams. The next set of questions, like you need to provide your team solution name, all the other attributes, required attributes in this, as like this. You can use the current folder, title of the team app project. I'm just giving the same Teams demo, company name, I'm using some info. Use the latest version always, and give a Microsoft partner ID if you have anything. And yeah, Teams, like you have like so many things, right? It can be a tab or it can be a bot, it can be a webbook kind of thing. So select like bot. So we are going to build a bot now. So URL, if you have any specific URL towards this, you can mention it. I'm just going with default. So here, like when you indicate inside, I don't want it like yes or no, you can give it based on that test framework. So I have captured this default values here. You can use the same thing. I want to use the telemetry. For demo purpose, I'm saying no. This is the bot name, Teams. So this is the app ID, which we need to like grab it from here, the app ID, or else like later on you can update it in the manifest as well. I'm just giving blank now. Do you want a static tab? If you want to maintain as a static tab, you can say yes, and you can proceed that. So we will be uploading the file. So yeah. So now it's creating a team project. So I'm just taking the project already, what have been created one. So we are done with like our step 5. Sorry. So we have to update the codes. For example, like we have to use like I have a reference links in this deck. We can use the same thing. Like you can you have to like add the you have to import the utility, and then the message factory needs to be added. The Teams activity handler, and the message factory is the very important one which we need to import it on the message. Then we have to go. We need to make the changes in the SRC and the app. Finally, like we'll be updating. Will let me open and show you. So this is the first step. Like here, it's a one-to-one personal chat. So default, you will have the help text. So you need to add like one-to-one personal chat, and you have to you have to handle the. This is the start with like if you want to start like one-to-one personal chat, this is the starting point. So similar like you can use a group chat or channel chat. So if it's a one-to-one personal chat, the text will be like starts with one-to-one personal chat or mention or something you can specify the text. So that means like team activity will start understanding it. Okay, like a one-to-one chat is like getting started. And not only this, the manifest.json also defines it. So this is what like your communication start with the teams. So the way you saw like we have to import the utility, and especially like we have to add the message type, we have to import it. The next the step is like it's working with art mention, so we are not going to change anything in that. You have to provide the starting point of the activity. So what kind of activity we are starting it up. The send activity will send the information to your BART framework. So as soon as this has been done, then the environment variable we have to update it. So the app ID and the app password. So this one you can grab it from the portal. You can get your app ID and password here. So copy this and you can paste it in your config. To the app ID and the password. This is where like your app service been connected to your chatbot. And in the manifest, there are like a couple of changes. The next step is like updating the manifest, where you have to provide your you have to specifically you have to say like which one it is. Like a scope is a personal one, and then the bot ID, which is nothing but the app ID, and the scope you are saying it's a Teams and personal chat. Yeah, that's the major changes we have to do it in the manifest just JSON. Yeah, so we have to update the environment variable with the app ID and password. Next one is like we are updating the manifest file. Once this is done, we have to test and run it. So this is the gulp, this is the command we have to use it. So now like you may ask like what is a web service, how we are integrating the web service, right? I'll show you that. So now like you are running your app. Now Yaman will generate the temporary like URL which we have to use it for the web communication. So this is the URL we got it right. So we didn't register our bot into Azure, right? So we are doing the test run. So take this URL, which is nothing but our step 10. In the settings, you have to update the messaging endpoint. This is nothing but you are like you are registering your bot now with the messaging API. So it's running now. You got a URL. You can go ahead and update the messaging endpoint. So messaging endpoints can be updated here. So now it's like different one. This is the messaging endpoint. Actually, it is not loading for me. It's already configured. This is the endpoint. We'll be updating it. So as soon as like you updated it, we can use this in our Teams. The next step like registering enabling this registering this with the Teams, right? So log in with your Teams. You should have like a Teams App Studio installed. There's a different Teams I logged in, so I'm not getting it. So as soon as you logged in, right, you will have So as soon as you log in, like you have to go to the teams.microsoft.com, then the App Studio, consider that the App Studio is installed. Then we have to import it in the package, like we are building it, right? The package will be available in this path, the manifest files. Go to a manifest one, select all the three, unzip it. So manifest file is ready. So the manifest file, as soon as it's ready, we have to upload this into our team. So for me, like even the session and both are happening in the same one. You will have a Teams icon here. You can upload it to the app catalog. So you will have an option here, the App Studio, you will get it here. Then click on the import an existing app where you can upload your package file. As soon as you add it, you will get your team icons here. As like the other apps, you just click on these three dots and search for the Teams app. You will get the app where you can add that. As soon as you add it, you can start chatting it. I thought of sharing it, but that's a different Teams login. Yeah, this is a reference which you have used it. I'm just recapping it before questions. So we just saw and this like what is like Azure Bard service has, what is Q&A maker service and the Lewis, and then how to integrate this with the team. Team has like a three different set of support, three different types of bards. One is like a channel, group, and personal. And we saw like how to build a conversational chat in Teams. So those 11 steps, and we can add the chat into our Teams channel, and you can use it like at mention. You can start using it. So the reference links are like Microsoft One. You can like read more about this in this blogs. Do you have any questions now?